In the last module, we named the blocks. You reflected on where you personally get stuck on camera, whether that's overthinking, performing, pressure to say it all right, or a lack of direction. This video is going to be a little different because it's not about the psychology. This is about base actions, things we can do every single time before we film, during filming, and after filming that remove a lot of those blocks without needing motivation or confidence. Think of this as your default operating mode. Part 1. Before filming, reduce your cognitive load. Most leaders struggle on camera before the camera ever turns on because they walk into filming holding too many ideas, too much context, and too much responsibility. So here's the first rule. Never walk into filming carrying the full message in your head. Here's base action number 1. Externalize your thought. Before filming, your job is not to refine ideas. Your job is to get them out of your head and into the system. This means bullet points and sometimes not scripts, prompts, not paragraphs, direction, not completely polished. If it still lives inside your head, it will create pressure on camera. We solve that structurally. And don't worry about using the dashboard yet. That's coming in the next video. So in the dashboard, you want to put all your ideas, and then we can start scripting those ideas and then bring those to filming. So you're not thinking about what videos you're doing today. You're not trying to prepare too much. The preparation is already done, so you can just sit down and film. During our one-on-one, we will talk about how you perform best. Most people, including myself, favor using a teleprompter. If you've tried this but didn't like it before, I'll help you understand how to do it properly. For example, I'm literally reading this whole video from a teleprompter right now, and it makes handing this over a lot easier to your team. More on this later though. But I have a whole other section on using a teleprompter and why I love it so much. Base action number 2, decide the service angle before you record. Before you hit record, answer one question. Who is this for? And what do they need clarity on? This is where we move into real power and presence. Not, is this perfect? Not, does this sound smart? And definitely not, will people like this? We only want to have in our heads, who does this help? That one decision collapses overthinking, and it will give you the energy of being of service. This is where your content will start to connect with more people, which is the entire point. And that energy can be presented in many different ways. Over the time of us working, you'll find your rhythm. So part 2, during filming, anchor to presence and not performance. Once the camera is on, most leaders try to manage the output, and that's where performance starts to creep in. So here's the rule during filming. Do not judge yourself while you're creating. Base action number 3, one thought per take. I want you to think about it like this. You're not filming a video. You're capturing one idea at a time that adds up to a complete video. So you're gonna say the thought, stop, and reset. This removes pressure and gives your team clean signal to work with. And also remember, the video will be edited, so don't feel the pressure of saying the whole video in one take. This reset will be a game changer, and I often catch myself reading the script, and I can feel my energy shift to that. So when I do, I stop for a moment, I reset, and I bring Matt back on camera. Base action number 4, speak as if you're explaining, not broadcasting. The fastest way to lose presence is to imagine an audience. Instead, speak as if you're explaining this to one of your clients, a teammate, or someone who asked you a real question. So explanations create clarity, broadcasting creates performance. So for example, I'm telling you this right now and no one else. Now, do I know multiple people see this video? Yes, of course I do. But when I film, it's for you and only you, whoever you are watching this right now. So that's how I maintain my energy and my presence on camera. But if that sounds too abstract, don't worry, this is progress and not perfection. And this presence that you're trying to build cannot be taught in the normal sense. It can only be made aware, and then once you do it, you'll feel it. So part 3, after filming, just hand it off and let it go. This is where most leaders accidentally sabotage their system. they film, and then they immediately reinsert themselves into everything. So here's the post-filming rule. Once it's recorded, your job is to no longer execute anything. So the base action number 5 is give direction once, then let the system work. After filming, your responsibility is to clarify what matters, note what you liked, and name what you don't want repeated the next time you film. Then hand it off. If you keep re-editing in your head, your team never learns how to operate without you, and the system will never stabilize. This happens too often, and leaders are usually very strict with what they want to produce. This can be a good and it can be a bad thing. In the beginning, your team will be getting used to your style. And when a video is done getting edited, you want to point out all the things you want different. But if a video is mostly to your liking, don't let those small details hang up the entire process. Make note of how you want it next time. Trust me, this will speed up your team a lot, and they will feel a lot more trusted from you. So why these actions matter? Everything we do together in our one-on-ones builds on these base behaviors. And if these actions are in place, the coaching is a lot faster, the feedback gets sharper, and the systems will lock in quicker, getting you to an ROI that you want. If they're not, everything will feel heavy, progress will be emotional and just suck, and content will feel exhausting. So this is the foundation. There's another forum down below this. I want you to tell me which of these actions feel the hardest to you right now, where friction shows up most for you currently in your content systems, and what surprised you from this video. We'll use that as our starting point in our one-on-ones and track how it shifts over time. In the next lesson, we'll go over the system on how to get the ideas out of your head and into the system, and how your team can practically take the load off of you until you show up to film again. See you in that one.